live. And we're live.
All right, sweet. Ready to go. Hey, everybody out there in Grilla Grills land. My name is Drew, and just want to say it's awesome to be the new guy on the team. I haven't abused too bad yet. Really enjoying kind of getting to know what's happening here. Got some cool things to take home and play with, and in that same spirit, we're just going to smoke a couple things today as we get started. Just kind of give a lead into what we're doing. We're kind of going to have a little, what we're going to call countdown to kickoff. So for the next 3 weeks up until the big game on February the 7th, I think it is, somewhere in there, we're just going to do some fun appetizers you can play with as the playoffs kind of go through and as we kind of lead up to that all-important day where we eat and drink too much and enjoy watching some football. I'm personally a Giants fan. I moved here from New York. Horrible time to be a Giants fan and has been for a very long time.
Me too.
So, what?
Look.
No way.
Giants fan.
I got nobody up here. Nobody. Lions this, Lions that. I'm a Giants guy. If you're offended by that, I really don't care. All right. So today we're just going to do some very simple things that kind of lend itself to football, okay? So we're going to do some pulled pork nachos, and then we're going to do some jalapeno poppers that are bacon wrapped and smoked. Kind of a couple of quick things first as we kind of look around. We're going to be doing a couple temperatures today. So on this bad boy, we're going to start at 180 degrees, so we can go ahead and get everything kind of started up. I like to preheat things before I get cooking so they're ready to go straight on the grill. And this one, we're going to go 275 for the pork shoulder, but we're going to talk a couple of ways about how we can do that either faster or slower. So let's start here. Put on my trusty gloves. You know, the first time when I came here to interview for this job, went ahead and got it out of the way, I cut the hell out of my thumb. So let's see if that happens today. If it does, bear with me. If not, not. Let's see. All right. So we're going to score this. And the reason and first of all, actually, let me digress a little bit. The first thing we're going to do before we go is about an hour to 2 hours beforehand. I like to pull the pork out, or anything that you're smoking really, and let it come to room temperature. What that does is it just lets everything cook more evenly throughout, so we're not fighting with that temperature. The grill doesn't have to compensate for the temperature when it comes out of the refrigerator. Just you know, food for thought. So we're going to score this really quickly. And the reason that we like to score it, a couple reasons. Number one, this is going to help it crisp up on the reverse sear. And number two, it really helps, as you can see right in there, Dominic, really helps that seasoning get down in there and actually penetrate the meat, not just the fat cap, okay? Next thing we're going to do is take some mustard. So we have our trusty gloves. We can just pop it in our hand here if he wants to play nice. There we go. Pop it in our hand, rub it around. And we're just going to give it a nice coating on the outside. This
No matter what kind you're using?
Makes no difference. This particular one is just Dijon mustard, just a local Meyer brand. For those out on the West Coast, that's just, you know, our local grocery store here. And it also infuses a lot of flavor, but more importantly, to be honest with you, it really helps, as you'll see in about 2 seconds, it really helps that seasoning get in there and stay on there, as a matter of fact. Pop those bad boys off. And we're going to use a little bit of our all-purpose seasoning here. I actually smoked some ribs last weekend on one of my new toys from our friends here at Grilla Grills. And I use the all-purpose seasoning for everything. I use it I did some beef with it. I did some pork. I did a standing rib roast. I did some baby back ribs. Completely awesome across the board. You can use it on anything. And yes, we do have our own beef rub as well, but at the end of the day, all these rubs are fantastic. So, 275 degrees, okay? And I want to talk about the temperature that we smoking it today and other options. So, today we're going to be doing the 3-2-1 method. This is if you don't have a lot of time. For example, if you have people coming over on the big game day, get rid of this. People coming over on the big game day and you're just running behind or, you know, have other things to do, we can get a pork shoulder out in about 6 hours. With this particular method, we're going to go 275 degrees, which is the top of the range for smoking. Typically, I like to keep it between 200 and 225, which is something you could also do with this, and let it go anywhere from 9 to 10 hours overnight, depending on what kind of timing you have. But if you need a quick fire method, we're going to go 3-2-1. 3 hours just like this. Then we're going to cover it for 2 hours. Then we're going to uncover it and let it smoke for another hour, or until we get an internal temperature of about 205 to 210 degrees. And completely optional, but If you want to use a spray, you can do so about every 30 minutes. Really simple to make. And all these recipes, by the way, if Dominic did his job, have been provided for you. Dominic, did you do your job?
They will be on the website after the video.
Dominic didn't do his job yet, people. That's all I'm saying. All right. So a little bit of apple cider vinegar, a little bit of beer. I'm not going to use all this so I can drink this afterward. There we go. Touch of brown sugar. And what the sugar does, guys, it fuses flavor, but it also really cuts down, it kind of breaks down that acidity just a little bit, whether you're doing barbecue or anything else. Sugar's a great counterbalance to acid. Give this a quick stir. Boom, and we're ready to go. Now, we can put this in our squeeze bottle or our spray bottle if we wanted to. Spray this every half an hour while it's uncovered. So you can spray it every 30 minutes for the first 3 hours and a couple times at the very end. I'm just going to put this right back here somewhere. There we go. I'm right here, I promise, guys. There we go. All right. Now we have that on the smoker and that's out of the way. We're going to move on to our poppers. And these are very, very easy to do. Lots of fun. Who doesn't like jalapeno poppers? I don't trust people who don't like jalapeno poppers.
Now you're making this like completely from scratch, right?
From scratch, 100%. Better than anything you can buy at the store. Probably cheaper too, to be honest with you. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a couple jalapenos. Actually, you know what? Let's leave it on just because it looks cooler. We're going to slice them lengthwise. Okay? Let's do 2 of them. Boom. And then what we're going to do, sort of a trash can, super easy. We're just going to take out those seeds in that middle part of the core here. It doesn't have to be perfect. The seeds do have a lot of heat in them, so if you want to keep a little bit more of that kind of zest factor, you can leave some of the seeds in. There we go. Do these other 2 really fast.
Do you like the tool that comes with that? Does it actually work pretty well?
Oh, it's awesome. We're going to show it to you in just a second. As a matter of fact, let's pull it out right now. I didn't know this existed until today, and I'm pretty freaking stoked about it, okay? So this is going to be our jalapeno popper apparatus, and it's pretty sweet. And we're going to show you how this goes on. And it's super simple, okay? I'm going to set this to the side just for a hot minute before we show you how awesome that is. And then we're just going to make a little bit of the filling here. Recipes, again, if Dominic had done his job, will be there for you. So we're going to have a little bit of cream cheese, okay? A little bit of pepper jack cheese. I like pepper jack here. You can use anything you want, guys. There's no, the barbecue police aren't coming for you if you want to use cheddar or Swiss or anything like that. It's going to be completely fine. Put on some more gloves here. And then what I like to do is just take a little bit of our all-purpose rub and just toss it right in there. There we go. Dominic said I had to use, I'm going to start picking on you today, Dominic. You said I had to use gloves.
You're going to hurt my feelings.
Don't tell you, it's your fault, man. A little bit of our all-purpose rub here, just for a little bit extra loving. Just mix it together, real quick like. There we go.
So just rough quantities here.
Yeah, rough quantities. The exact measurements are actually on the recipes, which we'll get to you guys shortly. But this is not rocket science, you know. It's pretty much just by look and feel as it goes. So take a little bit, and we'll just kind of stuff the middle here. Ready?
Wait, you're already done with that? That's all it takes?
Done. That's it. Simple. We're all busy people right now, man. We have things to do. We can't be sitting around trying to take all day to cook cool stuff for the game. We just want to get it in, get it on the smoker, and you know, drink beer or you know, do other things. I don't know. That's the great thing about this product, though, and I really learned that when I was playing around with it at home this past weekend, is you set that timer as long as you're comfortable with the preparation of everything, and then off you go. It's brilliant, to be honest with you. So, next thing we're going to do is just take a little bit of bacon, guys. Wrap it up.
Mark's going to be real upset he's not here yet.
What? There we go. Beautiful.
Bacon is his favorite thing, top to bottom.
I don't really see how anybody can't like bacon. It's really kind of disturbing that people don't like bacon.
Anything special about the way you're wrapping these?
Not at all, to be honest with you. We're just going to wrap them around. I do think it's kind of nice to kind of get as much of that cheese covered as you can, because what's going to happen is it's going to go on the grill, excuse me, the smoker, at 180 degrees for half an hour. Again, this will be on your direction, so no reason to write this down. We'll get it to you. But and this cheese obviously will melt. So if you put the bacon as much around this as you possibly can, it'll kind of help contain it. But outside of that, just a nice wrap on it. And if you'd like to, you can pop some just like that, and then we're just going to set them in here.
That's basically just a little toothpick.
Just a little toothpick, yeah. And that's more for later. It's easier to, when you're eating them, or going to pop these bad boys in like that. You don't need a fancy toothpick like this. This is all they had at the store this morning. Things are kind of freaked out. These things are kind of gnarly, man.
Looks like a friggin' sword.
I know. I don't even know what to do with this. There we go. All right, so we're going to use our product here. We're going to use the popper. It's going to go straight in. I didn't even know we had this. I'm even more excited to work here now, knowing that we have things like this to play around with. We're going to put this in 180 degrees, guys, for 30 minutes, plus or minus. If you run over it, again, the barbecue police aren't coming for you. After that, crank it up to 375 for another half an hour, pull them off, and we're ready to go. So we're going to pop these on. Close the door, wipe our hands, and we're in business. All right, guys, so now we have our pork butt on. 275, that's going to go for 3 hours for right now. Then we have our poppers on. That's going to go for half an hour, 180. Crank it up to 375, another half an hour, and then we're in business. So none of this is any fun without side dishes. And we're going to be focusing a lot on side dishes as well as the barbecue while we're hanging out and smoking stuff together. And one thing I find is you can make a much better product for just the same amount of money, very, very easily if you just do it on your own. So that's what we're going to do today. First thing we're going to do for our nachos is we're going to make some pico de gallo, okay? Salsa, super simple. So we have a tomato, and we're just going to cut it. Here comes the test. Let's see if I do what I did in my interview.
Is that a fingertip?
I left a piece of myself here, literally. That's how I got the job. All right. It was not. I went home and told my wife about that. She's like, oh, of course you did. That sounds about right. So, wonderful. Our tomatoes.
Anything special about these tomatoes?
Nope. Run-of-the-mill potatoes. Tomatoes. Okay. A little bit of onion. And just for the onion, we'll chop this bad boy up. We need a little bit more. And honestly, I know we're doing this in front of folks, so we want to kind of show everybody what's up. But if you were to make this the night before, or even a couple of hours before, the longer this kind of sits and the flavors kind of meld together, the better off that we are. So put our onions in there. We'll use that for something else later. No waste around these parts. We want to take a little bit of cilantro. You can chop this if you want to. I like it whole. I think it's really lends itself to a little bit more kind of flavor. Chop up a little garlic. Rough chop is fine.
Now, do you buy into that theory that there's people out there who think cilantro tastes like soap?
Yeah, and they're weird.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is a real thing? That's not just people making it up?
Yeah, actually, if he's watching this later, I'm going to get in trouble. My father-in-law, John Baker, this is towards you, man. He thinks cilantro tastes like soap. I don't know. I don't get it. But I'm just giving you a hard time, John. We love you, man. All right. And then we're going to take one lime. What I like to do also, when I'm squeezing the lime in here, just hold my hand over it. Catches any of those seeds that come out. Of course, it always helps if the lime is actually juicy. Let's try another one.
Oh, yeah, the roll trick.
The old rolling. That's why I didn't do it. It's my fault. There we go. Now we're cooking with Crisco. We're in business. All right, let's do one more. And what's great about this, too, we're going to use it for the nachos, but on the day of the game, if you make too much of this or maybe make too much intentionally, who cares? It's great, you know. Just throw some chips with it, we're good to go. Touch of salt. We're just going to mix all this together. Okay. There we go. And you can add things to this. You can put jalapenos in there. You can do whatever you want, but we're just going to make a very simple one. As you can see right in there, Dominic, here we go. Just straight up salsa. We good?
Oh, that
Sweet. We're going to make this disappear for 1 second, but we'll be coming back to that soon. Next thing we're going to do, I love pickled jalapenos. If you don't feel like doing this at home, you can totally get these in the can. There's absolutely nothing that says you can't, but we're going to do our own here today, okay? Just real quick, pickled jalapenos. So, just going to take a jalapeno pepper. Just going to slice them into rings really quickly. There we go. Now, in a non-reactive pan, what I have in here is a cup of water, okay? And we're going to take a cup of vinegar, equal parts.
Matter what kind of vinegar?
The recipe that case in point, no. The recipe I have posted, it calls for white vinegar. I'm using apple cider because it's just sitting here close to me. Couple of tablespoons of sugar. Guys, again, we're not creating rocket science here. Okay, so we're just gonna do a couple nice pinches. 1, 2, looks like 2 tablespoons to me. And then just a pinch of salt. Okay? Last thing we're going to do is just take 2 cloves of garlic. Give those a really nice little smash. Throw them in. When to bring this to a boil, let it boil for about 2 to 3 minutes, just until the sugar and the salt combine and dissolve. And then what we do is very important here, guys, that we use glass, okay? Just because it's a non-reactive kind of medium. Take our chopped jalapenos in the glass, pour the boiling pickling liquid over it, cover it for 10 minutes. And then anytime after that 10 minutes, you have pickled jalapenos, and we're ready to go. Delicious, super easy.
Thing that sounds like this should take hours, and it took you, what, 10 minutes? 15?
Not even. No, we did that in 5. If we actually did the whole thing, 10 minutes. 10 minutes. I would call it 15 with the boil. You're right. But, I mean, it's super easy to do. And also, they're stable. So if you wanted to go ahead and do, compound the recipe a little bit, do a little bit more, save some more for a rainy day, you totally could. Not going to hurt anything. All right, guys. Beautiful. So, just going to have a quick look. Everything's looking great there, as you can see. Our, what do we call this? The popper stand? Is that what we're going to call it?
Yeah, popper rack.
Popper rack, all right. So the popper rack's doing its thing. It's looking fantastic. Check our pork real quick. Pork's doing awesome. We have our pico de gallo ready to go. We have our pickled jalapenos ready to go. Next thing we're going to do is going to make some ranch dressing. Beautiful. Get rid of this bacon. Going to make some ranch dressing for our poppers, okay? This is very easy, as I pull out like 900 things.
Another one of those things that you can take at home, but also you can just buy it in a bottle if you don't.
Right. Not a little nod to our friends in the salad making business. All right, guys. So because I moved here from New York, as I mentioned, I'm a Giants fan. But caveat to that, I grew up in South Alabama, so could use a little Duke's mayonnaise here. Really beautiful stuff. Comes from where I'm from. A little Southern loving.
Right, and Miracle Whip gets you beaten, right?
Miracle Whip is bad news. Let's not even talk. I can't believe you even said that, man. I quit. I'm out. See you guys later. It's been real. I'm out. That's it. No longer interested. All right, just kidding, guys. A couple of cups of the Duke's mayonnaise or any mayonnaise. It makes no difference. A little bit of sour cream. And again, if there's one thing as we kind of enter this journey together that I want to kind of throw out there, we're going to put some recipes out, but most of this is just all by feel. We're just having a good time. Touch of buttermilk. A little bit of citrus, in this case lime. Lemon is good, if not better, but we have lime today. There we go.
Got a few people asking what a non-reactive...
Very simple. Non-reactive, I should have explained that. Non-reactive is anything except metal. So this will be a non-reactive pan, or this would be a reactive as far as, and the difference is, it's the way it interacts with the acid. So buttermilk has acid, our vinegar had acid for the jalapenos. Anytime we're introducing things like citrus juice, it's just best to use glass in those instances. No worries. In this case, I know I just put a little bit in here. We're going to be stirring this up and using it. So anything you're going to store, or especially when you're doing pickling, you want to use glass. Just rule of thumb. And that's something the barbecue police will come after you for.
Right.
All right.
Who's ever gotten a can of pickles? It's a jar.
It's a jar. It's a jar for a reason. All right, so in here we have mayonnaise, we have some sour cream, we have some buttermilk, a little bit of onion powder, okay? A little bit of granulated garlic. This is one of those few instances where I find that using the powder versus the fresh stuff is actually more appropriate. Touch of oregano, touch of parsley, and there's no way we're not going to use our all-purpose rub in here. Just give a little bit of a zing to it. There we go. Beautiful. All right. It's going to give us a quick stir together. And this is one of those things you just kind of have to do by feel. We may need to thin this out with a little bit of buttermilk. We may, in fact, need to add a little bit more mayonnaise or a little bit more sour cream. We just kind of have to see what we're working with here. The exact proportions, again, will be posted for you very soon. You can just use those as a rough guideline. As you can see, I wasn't measuring anything out, and this came out just fine. All right. So, we're in business. Let's make a little room. Give me 2 seconds, guys. And we're going to put everything that we made up here ready to go. All right. Sweet. Got that. So let's start assembling some things. So let's start with our nachos, okay? And let's go over everything that we have done so far.
Show me how your ranch turned out. I want to see if it actually looks like ranch.
It's beautiful.
Success. Yep.
Success. We did it.
Yeah.
I'm actually shocked. I'm not shocked. I knew it was going to be just fine. All right, guys. So we have our ranch dressing that we made. We have a recipe for that. Dominic. We have our pico de gallo. That's ready to go. We have some black beans here for our nachos. We have our pickled jalapenos. We have a tray full of tortilla chips. And most importantly, we have our pulled pork that's ready to rock and roll. Okay? Let's have a look at this bad boy. And let's pull some things together. Last piece of the pie here. All right. We're going to use these bad boys. Kind of, what is that, the Wolverine?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right, we got a Wolverine thing going on. All right. Here we go. Now this was the second method that we talked about. This was done between 200 and 225 degrees for about 9 to 10 hours, I would say. And I could talk and talk about it, or we can just show you. Proof's in the pudding. Look at that. I mean, that's beautiful. There's a couple of things I want to mention here too, besides the fact I just want to take a bath in that. We did, in this instance, use bone-in. There's no, it's completely up to you what you want to do, bone-in or bone-out, as far as the pork that you smoke. One thing I would say is if you have the bone, it does tend to take a little bit longer, but it infuses a lot more flavor. So when you're picking out your piece to smoke, just keep that in mind. But again, you can get this result with or without the bone. It's absolutely gorgeous. And if you have things to do, these grills are insane. You literally just pop them on, set your temperature, and walk away. A little bit of maintenance here and there, and you can totally carry on with your day and have a delicious meal at the very end without really having to think too much about it. Boom, boom, and we're great. Let's start with the nachos. Do a little bit of black beans here. Nothing special about these black beans, just straight from the store. Nice and easy. There we are. All right, it's all set. Let's do our pico de gallo next. And go ahead and get gnarly with it. I mean, we're not making this to look at it. Let's spoon it all over there. A little bit more. Any left over, throw some chips. You have another dish for your friends for the big game. And then mounds and mounds and mounds of that pulled pork. as much as you can. There we go. Isn't that awesome how it just pulls apart like that, man?
Oh, that looks awesome. I will take full credit for that.
No, you won't. Dominic may or may not know what he's doing, I'm just going to say. All right, guys. Very easy. I almost hate to put cheese on here. It's kind of a bummer, but we're going to have to because everybody likes cheese. But look how beautiful that is, man. It's just perfect.
That looks awesome.
Right?
Think if you saw that coming towards you at the restaurant.
Oh, I'd totally geek out. You kidding me? And again here, guys, any cheese you want. It doesn't matter. This happens to be cheddar cheese. You can do pepper jack cheese. You can do whatever. Again, nobody's, as I like to say, nobody's calling the barbecue police on you. We're going to throw this in the oven just for, or excuse me, the grill just for a hot minute. Just on the side here. Going to let that cheese kind of melt. And then the next thing we're going to do is have a look at these poppers.
I almost forgot we had poppers.
I know, me too. All right, guys, and this is the finished product. Super easy. How long did that take us to put together? Not even 10 minutes? Sweet. Going to take our ranch dressing right here in the middle. Beautiful. Beautiful. Cheese is melting just fine. While that's, and we're going to finish this with our pickled jalapenos, while that cheese is melting just the last couple of minutes there, I want to go ahead and talk about, I know next week is an off week for football, as the teams prepare for the big game the following week. But we are going to be doing some fun things, keeping football in mind. We're going to be doing smoked baby back ribs with some Grilla Grills coleslaw, and we're going to do some smoked buffalo chicken dip. Again, great for the game day, great with your friends, great with a couple of cold beers. Looking forward to that. And let's see where we are here. Our nachos are pretty much there. And look at that. Boom.
Perfect.
You really can't go wrong.
Oh, that's gorgeous, man.
Right?
And then all you do is top that off with those pickled jalapenos?
That's it. Not rocket science. Here we go. Spread them out a little bit. Again, you can make as many of these as you want. These hold in the refrigerator for an indefinite amount of time once they're pickled. Let's have a look at it with the jalapenos on there.
Oh, that's fantastic, man.
Sweet. I'm going to pop this back in here just to keep it warm. Let our pork shoulder keep going. And I just want to say to everybody as we kind of move into the big game and that's a football this weekend and looking forward to creating some fun recipes with you for your friends and family. It's been an absolute honor and pleasure to have been brought aboard this awesome team. I may or may not have done it for the cool grills I get to take home, but you know, I won't tell my bosses that. Also, I'd like to throw out there that we had a kind of a sad day, speaking of sports. Hank Aaron passed away today. He's one of my heroes, one of my dad's heroes. So number 44, we'll miss you, and certainly thank you for everything that you lent to the game of baseball. Until the next time, everybody, it's been awesome. Can't wait to kind of embark on this journey with you guys as we cook and continue to have fun together over the weeks and months ahead. And cheers, everybody, and yeah, cheers. Happy smoking to you. Own the smoke, as they say.